So I've been away, but now I'm back. And while I was gone, Hot Toys have been very, 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 very busy. So in this video, we got to talk about this, and something I'm actually going to get, this. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to talk about Fennec, we're going to talk about Cosca Reeves, we're going to talk about the Bark Trooper, we're going to talk about Apple, we're going to talk about Cad Bane, and then those exclusives, Peter Parker and Miles Morales from the Spider-Man 2 game. Alright, so been away on holidays, and since then Hot Toys have absolutely dropped an absolute storm. Lots of stuff coming out, and if you are a hardcore Star Wars collector, your wallet is your wallet's taking a beating. So curious to know how people are navigating this storm. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Are you all in on all the stuff? Are you ruling out certain lines, like maybe you're ruling out Mandalorian or Boba Fett? Maybe you only collect the original trilogy, maybe you only collect Clone Wars, or are you the person who needs everything and are a completionist and you've had to take out a second mortgage on your house? So let's take a look at this first one here. So this is obviously Fennec. This is the Hot Toys Fennec 1/6 scale figure based on the likeness of Ming-Na Wen, I believe. I probably butchered that, from the TV show The Book of Boba Fett. When I think of Fennec, though, to be honest, I think more so of the Mandalorian. Maybe that's because she was induced. She wasn't induced. She was introduced in Mando season 1, and in she obviously had a presence in Mando season 2 and The Book of Boba Fett. I think they've got the likeness really, really good in this. I actually quite like the character. Not something I necessarily need in my collection. I haven't pre-ordered this. It wasn't on my wish list. There was a time I considered getting this. I think it was after season 2 of The Mandalorian finished, and that post-credits scene when Boba and her kind of rock into Jabba's palace and just basically take over. And that was kind of like the guerrilla marketing ad for The Book of Boba Fett. And I was thinking, okay, this series is going to be amazing. However, I think most of us would agree that Book of Boba Fett, while it had two very strong episodes, 5 and 6 in my opinion, the vast majority of it kind of just missed the mark. Anyway, let's take a look at this figure. When I first saw the prototype, I thought the head sculpt was great, but I thought they were very, very kind to Ming-Na Wen. Now, don't get me wrong, she's a beautiful woman, but I'm pretty sure she's coming up on 60, and I think, and in fairness, fantastic looking woman, especially that she's coming up like she's that old. She does not look her age, and I think the prototype, they were very, very kind to her, where they made her look younger. Now here, I think whatever they've done with the paint apps, I think it's more of a reasonable, more accurate look to her. I just think maybe she was slightly younger looking in the prototype images. Maybe that's all in my mind's eye, but I think this head sculpt is fantastic. I think there's no question about who it's trying to be. I think this is a fantastic looking figure. The proportions, the color, the combination of the black and orange, especially those kind of orange triangle design that we'll see later on when I flick through these photos. Really like the inclusion of the sniper rifle. I think the way to go is to, if you have Boba on the throne and you pose this next to Boba on the throne, I know that everyone is going to be doing that. Not an original thought at all, but that's what I would do if I got it. I would 100% throne Boba with this and just set and forget, to be honest. Really, really like this particular figure. I was going to flick through it. I believe I'm going to check up, get a price on her now. Come on. Just want to get a price on this because I want to make sure. So she's available now out in Hong Kong. I'm not sure if Sideshow have started shipping her yet, but she's $270 on Sideshow. Anyway, I really like this. And you know, part of me is thinking to pick it up and pose it next to the battle damaged post Sarlacc pit Boba Fett. Absolutely love that figure. Because it would make perfect sense, because when he gets his armor back in, you know, which is one of I basically bought that Boba Roba 2-pack on the strength of that particular episode. It was one of my kind of favorite episodes of Mandalorian season 1 or 2. Basically one of my favorite episodes of Mandalorian, and I think because he still had the battle damaged armor, he hadn't repainted it yet. I think she'll look really well next to him. They shared screen time like that. Not that you need to do that, but usually I like to kind of recreate something and pose kind of figures that did share screen time together. It just makes sense. All right, so let's flick through some of these images. This is gonna be a long video. I mean, for me, this is the selling point here. If I was getting her, I would be doing this. Set and forget, just get the pose right. Boba, really, really simple, just sitting down in the chair. hand on the there's the stock of that gun there, and she's just sitting there, just looking badass with her spotchka and that rifle. That rifle is cool. Even just noticing like the kind of little like what are these pads or something like that, or they cartridges or something. I'm not sure what just the design on the strap here is pretty cool. Maybe it's kind of pads for resting on her shoulder, or maybe I presume it's maybe more functional, that maybe ammo or something. But just the different kind of shades of grey here, and the white and the orange, even that pops there. Obviously there's a black and orange theme running through the outfit. Just love that sniper rifle, the inclusion of that. Even the helmet, I completely forgot about the helmet, because the head sculpt is so good and the helmet is so cool. It's kind of like, I'd say people are going to, this is a figure that if you just get one of them, you're going to repose it a lot, because you want to show off that head sculpt, but also that kind of reminds me of is it Bausch Leia, that kind of similar kind of helmet. Yeah, like even like the two of them there together, that's pretty damn cool. I think this is the base for Thanos, if I believe, or some sort of version of it, very similar to it anyway. Like even the likeness is there in her eyes. Just even though you can only see like the sort of bridge of her nose and her eyes, but you still know who it is. That looks a bit strange there. I'm not sure if I wonder, can you get a stock of this rifle tucked into the elbow here? It looks a little awkward there. Maybe the articulation is limited. I don't have this in hand, I'm not sure, but if you do, let me know. Yeah, head sculpt I think is on point. I think they're just nailing it. With the sculpts they released during the week. Okay, Cad Bane is, he's obviously a non-human character, and they tend to do those kind of blue characters very well, or non-human like characters. The likes of okay, Yondu is, well, I suppose, humanoid. He can't be human, he's blue, but they just nail those figures. Like Thanos, I think they did a great version of the Thanos, just when it's not like it's white skin or something like that. But here they've absolutely nailed the likeness of Ming-Na Wen. I really think this is a strong portrait. Yeah, look, I haven't a bad word to say about this. Unfortunately, it's just not for me. The usual kind of like space and money and kind of, it's not that it's the Book of Boba Fett puts me off. Like if I got this, I just pose it next to Boba and kind of as a nod to say Mandalorian season 1 or 2, well season 2 specifically, when she shared screen time with Boba Fett. But yeah, I haven't a bad word to say about this. Can't completely rule out picking this up, especially if it drops down in price. But yeah, it's not something that has been on my pre-order list. I didn't pre-order it, and it wasn't on my wish list. Just one of those things. Decisions have to be made. Can't have everything. And there is something actually in this video that I will get. Surprise, surprise. So the next thing, Cosco Reeves. I actually was blown away by the prototype, the head sculpt, and I think they've delivered very close to the prototype. It looks like the prototype to me. I remember at the time these braids on the head, people were saying that it looked very plasticky and kind of took it out of them. I know it is sculpted hair, it is plastic, I get that, but I think maybe they've actually done something with the paint apps here in this, because I think this looks really well. The braids and the hair, the kind of cross braids there on the forehead, the little bits of hair coming out from the in front and behind the ear. I think they've nailed the look of Sasha Banks here. Really impressed by this. Now, this here is basically just a nice segue. This is basically why I'm not picking up Cosco Reeves. As much as I actually prefer Cosco Reeves' character to Bo-Katan. I know it's probably sacrilegious. I'm not the biggest Bo-Katan fan, but in fairness, I'm not the biggest fan of these three figures or these three characters. Now, what I mean by that is, like, it's not that I dislike them. I'm thinking, will I still like these characters in 10 years' time? Again, that's the stage where I'm at in my collecting. It's like I don't want to take in something that I'm gonna have to, change my mind on and then sell, I don't know, 6 months down the line. I do sell from time to time, whether it's if I have a double of a character, or maybe a newer, better, superior version comes out and I'm happy enough selling like that. I don't mind if I have to take a loss. It's not ideal, but that's just the market it is. So I don't want to get something that buy into FOMO and hype, and then 6 months down the line going, yeah, I don't actually like this character as much as I thought I did. The 3Ds look fantastic together. I think if you're getting one of them, you have to get three of them. And I was never going to get Axe Woves or Bo-Katan, so I couldn't justify getting Casca on her own, because what would I pose her with? And even like, if I was, for me, it was either three of them or none of them, and I've opted for none of them. But it's not because there's anything wrong with this particular figure. I think this actually looks super. Like the cobalt blue, like just the Mandalorian figures, they're kind of like the Spider-Man VGM figures. I rarely see one and don't like one. They're just a cool looking design, whatever. If it's a male or female character, or whether it's, you know, the cobalt blue here, or is it the battle damage post Sarlacc, or if it's the shiny Beskar Mandalorian. It's just a naturally cool looking design for a character, for a bounty hunter. So for me, it was either get all three or get none, and I just can't justify. I just don't like the character. I do like the characters, but I don't like them enough to justify getting all three. The proportions are good here. The weathering and the kind of like scuffing and battle damage, light battle damage on the outfit, they just nailed. Got a bit of pleather here, or obviously in that holster. It's not ideal, but what you're going to do. I've heard she doesn't articulate that well. But again, I don't have this in hand. Please let me know in the comment section down below. She looks great with that that rifle actually as well. Didn't realize she comes with that. I mean, does she come with that? I'm going to have a quick check here. I want to make sure that I'm not sending people astray. So Casca Reeves. So Casca Reeves, 270 as well. Not sure if she's shipping from Sideshow yet. But I just want to take a look at everything she comes with. All right, where is this? On the Sideshow site, I'm not a fan of. They've really, I think, made a mess of the user interface here. I can't see that rifle there. Maybe that's why. No, I don't think she comes with that rifle. It's just obviously a rifle they've taken off a shore trooper, or stormtrooper commander, or something like that. But yeah, she comes with like the jetpack, the flame effect on the jetpack, the flamethrower effect. Cardboard. No, I don't like that stand or cardboard either. Bunch of swap out hands. Yeah, so like, I mean, I think they've done a great job with the head sculpt and the outfit and everything. She doesn't come with that rifle to the best of my knowledge anyway. She comes with the 2 blasters and jetpack. She looks great. They've done a great job, but again, just comes back to, yeah, not for me. So the next one, these two, yeah. So I'm not a gamer. And like, I think as Mike L would say, you need to put guardrails on your collection. And for me, how I do that typically is something has to be a triple threat if I'm going to drop the money on it. More often than not, there are a few exceptions in my collection, but they're so actually one is kind of featured in this video if you want to stay tuned to the end. But typically something I have to like the character, like the source material, and like that particular version of the character. So just, okay, easy, obvious example. Heath Ledger Joker, right? So do I like the character? Do I like the Joker? Yeah, fantastic character, classic character. Do I like the source material, the Dark Knight? Yeah, fine. Do I like that version, Heath Ledger's version, and the in-art, you know, their in-art figure they produce? Yeah, 100%. So triple threat, it's coming home. With Spider-Man from the games, I'm not a gamer, so I've never actually played. I didn't play the original Spider-Man game. I won't be playing the Spider-Man 2. I know if I sat down and I bought myself a PS5 and I started playing these games, I know I'd really love them and appreciate the design and everything and gameplay that goes into them. But I just think that's a rabbit hole, a dangerous rabbit hole that I don't want to go down. I have enough vices as it is. But that being said, I really, really like this particular version. This is the advanced suit. They've released this before. They released the Peter Parker advanced suit 1.0 with Spider-Man 1, the first game. And now here they're doing it again. I believe this is limited worldwide to 3,000. And then the Miles Morales, which we'll take a quick look at as well, is limited to 1,500. Now there are things that come with this that didn't come with the original one. I think for the most part the suit looks very, very similar. I think this white spider logo, you either love it or you hate it, and I love it. I love the classic combination of the blue and the red with the, you know, black web lines running through it. I really like the design choice of the shoes. They're kind of almost trainery like, you know. It's, again, I'd say that's the type of thing you either love or you hate. And the white spider, it just when you see that, you think of the game. Really like actually these three or four actually. Yeah, there's four. I didn't realize it was four. The four pincers here, or you know, claws, kind of like the Iron Spider from the MCU or from the comic books, or indeed there was another, I think it was an Iron Spider from a VGM from the first Spider-Man as well, first Spider-Man game as well. So they are giving you extra accessories here that didn't come with the 1.0, and that's, you know, it changes it up. It gives you something a bit different. It's kind of like the symbiote web as well, which is kind of interesting. I don't think that came with the first one. Of course, people are looking forward to see if there's going to be a Venom symbiote release with the Spider-Man logo on the chest, and I imagine that's only a matter of time before they do this. So yeah, this looks fantastic. I love this design choice. I love the color combinations and the white spider, the inclusion of all these different, the usual accessories like these web wings. You've got the, I really like the silver bits actually. I like to see on his right arm there, the silver bit around the wrist and the web shooter. This is cool as well, the way the symbiote seems to be wrapping around his arm and he's shooting out kind of a symbiote web as opposed to a normal web. He comes with, I think, different types of web. I think they've updated the web, which is pretty good because those usual ones, the kind of like, it was like for years there we were getting the exact same type of web effects with Spider-Man, and they're kind of notorious for breaking as well. So yeah, look, I haven't a bad word to say about this. It's not up in Sideshow now at the moment. Actually, just take a quick look and I'll just show you. So what actually happens when you, that's when I go in, when you look, we went to Hot Toys, bear with me, and we go to newest. So what you have here is, it just says coming soon. So this is going to be one of those, like last year you had the Mark 46 2.0, or that stealth cap which they branded Endgame from start of Endgame, that came with the gauntlet as well. They were, you had to be on your computer. I think you had to be on your computer, and Sideshow server just couldn't, the website couldn't keep up with the demand. It was crashing and people weren't happy. So I think the lottery probably is the best way to go. You express your interest and you get an email. I'm not sure which way they're going to do this, but the Spider-Man is limited to 3,000 worldwide, and Sideshow will get a certain portion of that. The miles 1,500 worldwide, I believe, and again Sideshow will get a portion of that. So maybe they do like the RSVP kind of lottery system, or maybe they just tell you it's going to be dropped at this time and you just have to go on and do the dogfight. But yeah, so so that it's a pass for me because I don't play the video game, but this looks super. Like, I haven't a bad word to say about it really. Miles Morales, again, they've released this suit that they did for Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales, I believe. Or I can't remember, was it a separate game, but they've definitely done a version of this suit before, and this is like the upgraded suit or 2.0 version. Again, don't have too much to say about this. If I was getting a Miles Morales, I'd be getting the one from the second across the Spider-Verse figure. I really like the look of that figure with the all the layering. They kind of, you could pose him obviously in the Spider-Man suit, but then you can swap out the head and you can put on, like, all the layering. He's got the it's kind of big puffer jacket, and then the Brooklyn basketball jersey or stuff like that. So yeah, a creasing going on there, but what are you going to do? So again, this looks good. Don't play the game, won't be picking it up, but yeah, so it's 1,500 worldwide. So if you are interested and you are in the States, keep an eye on Sideshow, and you're just going to have to jump through a few hoops, whether it's that register your interest and go for the lottery, or whether it's it be at your computer at a certain time. So yeah, best of luck to anyone who is picking this up. Let me know in the comment section actually if you are picking this up or going to attempt to pick this up. But the thing is, you can still get them. Like, you see all these things that are Sideshow exclusives or limited, whatever, and they turn up. Sometimes the hype just dies and they turn up for retail on buy-sell trade groups after a few months. Sure, we saw this with Arena Fett. You can still pick up things like the the Churro Spider-Man, probably not for retail, but it went up to like $800 at one stage. And then they released the version on Sideshow, didn't have the Churro and a few other things, and you could still pick it. So it's basically, how much do you like plastic 1/6 scale churros? Yeah, so moving on from this. Right, so I don't collect Clone Wars. You're probably watching this video going, do you collect anything? I do. I'm just selective. Collect what I like, I suppose. Collect what I love. I pass on a lot of things that I like. Pass on a lot of things that I like to collect the things that I love. Yeah, space and money, folks. You know the deal. I want to be in this hobby in a year's time, in 5 years' time, and so like that. So I don't want to get absolutely burnt out. And a lot of stuff is arriving really quickly, and hard decisions have to be made. So this here is the Heavy Weapons Clone Trooper and Bark Speeder. This is obviously from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. So by default, one of the things I do to stay in the hobby is I rule out entire lines. Have I watched The Clone Wars? Yeah, I'm midway through season 4. I'm moving glacially slow through it. I've seen very little to get me excited, but I've been told multiple times, multiple different sources and people that I respect, the real fun happens in season 5, 6, and 7, and you see this amazing Ahsoka Tano story arc. So really looking forward to that. So for this, I don't particularly like the design of it, to be honest. Like, a lot of this Clone Wars stuff I look at and I really like the design, and I just, maybe because I don't collect it, I'd say, yeah, it looks cool, it's for someone else and stuff like that, but I actually don't this does nothing for me. I'd rather get like a Return of the Jedi speeder bike, or even like the Mandalorian speeder bike, or I don't know, like have the Bat Pod there, something that I'm more into. I just don't particularly like this design of this particular vehicle. It's not for me. And even like there's like, I could display this, because like with the floating shelves, like you won't need the entire footprint of this. You just need the footprint of the base. So there's multiple ways you can display this. Like if you're like me and have details, it's not going to fit in the details. I refuse to put things on top of the details, but you know, the floating shelves and a few other shelves here as well, which would work for this. But it just does. I don't collect Clone Wars, and even if I did, I don't think I'd pick this one up. I don't particularly like the design of the Bark Speeder. Maybe that's because I'm just not into the Clone Wars, but I do actually quite like. It sounds ridiculous, but I love the inclusion of this like satchel. This has to be extremely unpractical. You're flying around there in your sidecar. What happens like if someone flies by and you know this gets caught in like some sort of a, I don't know, a branch of a galactic space tree or whatever, and you get pulled right off that? It seems very, very impractical, but I really like it. I really like the design. It's just a simple accessory. It kind of reminds me a bit of the kind of, you know, that satchel that Mando, the Beskar, the Chrome Mando comes with, that he, you know, carries Grogu around. And it's also like, it's kind of like if you look up at the strap just under his elbow, you've got these kind of swellings and stuff like that. It looks like it's to put some sort of cartridges in it. I like that. So this particular figure is pretty cool. I like that. So it's cool the way it comes with a sidecar. This is one for the Modu cases, I think. Like, it's just going to be absolutely used. You're going to take up a lot of space. Looking forward to seeing how people will actually pose this up. There he is again, full battle with his like his satchel. It's just like, I mean, I don't know, if it was me and I used to go to war, I wouldn't want to I'd put on a backpack, man. But it still, it looks really cool. Completely impractical. Doesn't make sense. Looks cool. And his pauldron is kind of dark. This guy as well. So yeah, flicking through that. So it's Commander Appo and the Heavy Weapons Clone Trooper Bark Speeder with sidecar. Yeah, and I think you can get the one. Yeah, I actually, again, as much as I'm kind of poking fun at the kind of impractical sachet. What am I saying? Sachet. You know, what am I trying to say? The bag is just impractical. I just think it looks deadly though. I actually think it looks really cool. That's the thing, like this guy is basically a blue and white Commander Cody. Commander Cody's armor is just, it just looks great. I have him downstairs, the only figure I have from the prequels, because I don't collect prequels. I got it as a gift. It fits in nicely to my troopers, because that's a vice I have. I do collect troopers. So moving on, yeah, again, not for me. This is Commander Appo and the Bark Speeder. So just to be clear on this, yeah, Appo is the one with he does come with the satchel, or does he? No, I think the other guy, I think it's the Heavy Weapons, comes with the satchel. So this is Commander Appo. Yeah, it's again like just even the little touches like on the blue on his right shoulder pauldron, all the little weathering there, like that looks deadly. Lots of weathering going on the front and everything. Yeah, there's just, it's very rare to see a trooper that I don't like. Yeah, this looks good. Alright, so yeah, obviously a pass for me. Nothing here, just a recap on this, like what a week. If you're a big Star Wars collector and you know you have the money for it and you have the space for it, what a week for you, because like this looks fantastic. They've nailed this. They've nailed the look of Costco Reeves. These two obviously non-Star Wars, but these are great pre-orders, not releasements, announcements should I say as well. If you haven't got these already and you're waiting to, like, that's a great looking suit. And capitalizing on the hype of the game as well. So like these are very, very strong announcements and releases. People who love vehicles are going to be delighted with this, and the diehard Clone Wars fans. Now this is the one I'm interested in. I mentioned earlier on, and I've mentioned multiple times on the channel, to kind of focus, pun not intended, my collection, because you know, the usual limited space and limited money. I have to be very, very, very selective. I don't have another option really. So something like this, it's a funny one, because this, I'd argue this is a triple threat. Do I like the character? The live action version I'm talking about specifically, I've seen him in the Clone Wars and stuff like that, but I actually loved this guy's appearance. I like the character in Book of Boba Fett. But the show itself, so if the show itself was a letdown, okay? So if you look at it, like the three criteria for a triple threat, I have to like the character, I have to like the source material, and I have to like the version of that character. So did I like the character? Yeah. I loved all the scenes with him he was in episode 5, 6, and 7 of the Book of Boba Fett. It made it watchable because it really wasn't great, but episode 5 and 6 were super. I thought episode 7 was a bit of a letdown, but the scenes with this guy's presence on screen, particularly that scene where he walks out of the desert between him and Cobb Vanth. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. The tension, the tone of his voice, the dialogue between the two of them, just the pacing of it, and obviously the look of the character. So do I like the character? Absolutely. Do I like the source material? The bits that he was in, 100%. Overall, Book of Boba Fett was a disappointment, to be quite honest, in my opinion. But the scenes with him were fantastic, but specifically the source material that sold it for me was that scene I just mentioned when he walked out of the desert. The quality level just spiked. It seemed out of place. Basically episode 5 and 6 really seemed out of place. It was kind of Mandalorian 2.5. So did I like the source material? I did. The scenes with him in episode 5 and 6, but didn't like the Boba Fett as a whole. And the last part then, did I like this version? Yeah, I actually love this version. I know that people were a bit disappointed that the hat wasn't bigger, and I get that, but this is the live action version. That's the design choice they took, and I think it worked quite well. The big hat, I don't think certain things work in a comic book that won't work in a TV show. Certain things work in a computer game that won't work in a movie. And I think the big hat, as cool as it looks in the animated series, I think you get away with it because it's in an animated series. You know, it's like little things like, you know, characters been able to, you know, jump that bit higher or run that bit faster. You kind of get away with that in, you know, your comic books, your animated series, but in the live action, maybe not so much. So this guy here, for me, I loved this rendition of it, and I actually like the design choice that they went for the hat. I think it actually would look a bit strange if the hat was huge, but anyway, that's just my opinion. So this guy here, I hadn't pre-ordered him. He was on my wish list. I was keeping an eye on him. Staggering, the usual thing, like, you know, if you pre-ordered everything that you wanted, if I pre-ordered everything I wanted straight away, then there's going to come a time where all these invoices just come at the one time, and, you know, then I might have to cancel. I to be honest, I don't cancel. It's just I've never actually cancelled a figure. I think I've cancelled figures and kept deposits because, say, like Sideshow was late or something like that, or there was an issue with whoever I bought and transferred funds. But in terms of usually when I commit to, actually I'm going to say it, when I commit to getting something, I bloody get it. It's that simple. So this guy I hadn't pre-ordered, but he was on the wish list. I was keeping an eye on him, and I wasn't expecting him to come out so soon, but he's turned out really well. I think the shelf presence of this guy is going to be amazing. He's a bit taller, so there's that. So there's obviously bigger figures tend to have a bit more presence. The fact that he's non-human, the fact that he's got a blue face and the red eyes, I thought they did, and even like the sharp teeth and these just 3 different sculpts, fantastic. The trench coat, characters with trench coats just have that extra bit of cool or extra bit of presence. Think about it. Kyle Reese from Terminator 1, Deckard from Blade Runner, Joe from Blade Runner 2049, Doc Ock, Neo from the first Matrix movie. I can go on and on, and this guy is in that as well. He just, the tailoring is really well. Yeah, he could probably do it a little bit more weathering, but then again, like, when you look at the show, I don't remember him being particularly dirtied up. Like, there seems to be a trend lately, like, some figures that Hot Toys released are maybe underweathered. They look too cleaner. Everyone made jokes about Bestman Luke looking like a janitor. You had the Tusken Raider, which they live in the desert, and it was pretty clean, good dry cleaners. There was something else as well, which I can't remember. Maybe you remember. Sorry about that. Maybe you remember there was another figure that came out recently, I want to say recently, and wasn't. It was a bit clean looking, but Anyway, not important. But this guy, I actually think this guy is screen accurate. Like I don't remember his coat being particularly weathered. But anyway, yeah, I'm picking this one up from Lion Rock Toys, and really excited about this one. So let's take a look through. So it comes with 3 different faceplates. I love the actual sharp treat. The voice actually creeped me out a bit, but you know, in a good way. It made it interesting, like it added to the tension of that particular scene between him and Cobb Vanth. Love the inclusion of like his blasters they're basically like old 6-shooters, real western style. He's basically a space cowboy. Like, I mean, yeah, kind of. I think Jamiroquai, did Jamiroquai have an album called Space Cowboy or a song? But yeah, that's exactly. Like, look at it, like just at the height again, the blue and the blue of the face, the red of the eyes, the 3 different faceplates, the fact that he has a hat, the trench coat, the tailoring on it looks fantastic, the blue gauntlets popping as well, very cool. This guy's going to fit in actually with my Mandalorian display. So what I'm going to do is, again, not a completionist, I'm collecting the figures that I like the most from the episodes I like the most. So at the moment with the Mandalorian, obviously I've got the Durasteel and Beskar Mando, but like on display I've got the Beskar Mando. Yeah, if it's Mandalorian, you're going to have Beskar Mando, right? So he's there. And then in terms of like the episode that felt were really strong, the Ahsoka Tano one, which I just actually today got 2 CCFLs custom in from Art 15 Custom. Looking forward to posing her up with that. One of the best pieces of Star Wars media I've ever seen. That live action appearance, first appearance, Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka Tano. Love that. Luke, the Mando Luke from the season finale of season 2, probably the strongest episode of the entire season to date, in my opinion. The battle damage post Sarlacc Boba, I got the Boba Roba 2-pack, so like these are all like key episodes. So you got the Mando, Ahsoka, Luke, that Boba Roba 2-pack, they're the ones that stand out in my mind. And even though this is not Mandalorian, it's technically Book of Boba Fett, but just episode 5 and 6, Boba Fett wasn't in. It did seem like Mandalorian season 2.5. So, and I don't have a villain because I wasn't happy with the Moff Gideon head sculpt, so I don't have a villain. And even if they give us a Moff Gideon from season 3 with the armor, the Moff DeLorean as people would call it, I did not like season 3, so I don't think I could justify getting that. Even the scenes with him, it's not like this, whereas this scene blew my mind, whereas Moff Gideon in season 3 really didn't. So yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to this. So it's going to be a line of the 5 details, and each there's going to be probably I'll be posed 1 per shelf. So you're going to have like the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Mando Luke, and then this guy, and then who am I missing? Yeah, Boba Fett. So something like that. Really like that. Really looking forward to getting this. Mine should ship within the next few days from Hong Kong. Comes with this set. I think it's Toto 360. Did not appear in the live action show, but they still included it. That's kind of a nice touch. I think was there a figure recently? Was it Mace Windu? Branded Attack of the Clones, but came with some armor panels or something like that, which were Clone Wars. Not entirely sure if I'm right on that. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Yeah, so that's just my catch up there. So in summary, Fennec looks awesome. Not for me. Casca looks awesome. Don't like the character enough to justify getting it, but I haven't got a bad word to say about it. These 2, video games, don't play video games. And then these 2, I don't collect Clone Wars. So I do actually collect though, believe it or not. But yeah, very excited about Cad Bane. This is one I'm really looking forward to, and glad it turned out so well. Like, look at that. It's just going to have so much presence, I think. Yeah, so look, that's the end of the video. Back in business now. Just going to be more videos coming. There's going to be more shorts coming. I have a review to do on Bespin Luke and this guy Cad Bane when he comes in. Just actually connected up the Bespin Luke. The light up display looks beautiful with the kind of red orange glow from the base he's standing on, and then the 2 generators. I've got a CCFL actually custom for him as well. Looks super lit up. So there's going to be that review. There's going to be a review on Cad Bane when it comes in. Picked up 2 unusual figures as well that definitely kind of will stand out in the collection. I ended up getting Arthur Shelby and Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders. So looking forward, they should be shipping from Big Chief Studios over the next few days as well. So yeah, look, that's the end of the video. We're back in business now. The Hope Show, if you're watching this now, the Hope Show will be live in a few hours at 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which is 3 p.m. New York time and midday on West Coast. So this video is going out live it's the 17th of July. So wherever you're watching that, maybe you'll tune into the Hope Show later on. I'm going to have Ancient Silver Fox on it. Can we talk about the 66 Joker he's having issues with? Who else is going to be on it? We got Dan and Carbonite. I think Lael is going to drop by, and we also will have Alan the 6 Scale Gallery. The topic is space, all about the space debacle. If you're a collector, you know that space is probably the #1 concern. Space and money. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Really appreciate it if you're taking the time to watch it. If you want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you're picking any of these pieces up or not. You can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.